laps of racing on the high banks of Winchester Speedway on this Sunday afternoon. Let's go racing. .400 laps of racing, the Winchester 400. 37 starters in the field. Adam Mackey joining me in the tower from Kalamazoo, Michigan. The announcer of Kalamazoo Speedway, Jason Seltzer. Jason, good to have you along for your first call of the 400.
I do appreciate the opportunity. Thank you much, Adam. This should be a great race. A lot of heavy hitters in the field. And the $100,000 question, can Johnny Van Dorn capitalize and pick up the win here today?
A lot of people wondering about that $100,000 bonus. It all came together courtesy of JAGS, as well as the tracks of Anderson, Berlin, and Winchester. $100,000 on the line if he wins today, because he would have swept the three big races. The big race up at Berlin, the big race at Anderson, the Red Bud, and then the Winchester 400. It's very unlikely that it happens. So I think it would have come to a surprise to many that we would be at this situation right now with Johnny Van Dorn a chance to even think about winning the 100 grand. Now that chance is very good because he's excellent here. He's the all-time wins leader in CRA competition on the high banks with 5.
Absolutely. During the drivers' meeting, they were joking about the insurance policy that is with this, and they plan to do it next year as well, but they made the comment they might have to find a new insurance company. Should be a very good day, and we'll see if Van Dorn can close it down.
Deal was, if you win all 3 races, you get 100 grand. If you win 2 of the 3, you get 10 grand. And if not, I think it's the best average finish or something like that, gets 5 grand. And Van Dorn has already locked up the 10 grand, so it's going to be a good payday nonetheless, even if he doesn't cross the line in first here today. Coghlan Cars Pace Car on to pit road. 37 starters ready for the green. Official pole sitter Chase Elliott on the outside. Possibly $100,000 man Johnny Van Dorn on the inside in the 32nd running the Winchester 400 underway.
Chase Elliott gonna lead the pack down off turn 2 and down the backstretch. Terry Fisher Jr. on the bottom of the racetrack slips back a couple spots, and he and Augie Grill battle out for 5th.
That inside lane, not necessarily the place to be on starts and restarts, and we'll see it all day long here at Winchester. Getting up into that number 6 position is Fisher, losing 3 spots on the start. Bubba Pollard going to the inside of Anderson Bowen. Pollard's car looks mighty strong early. Couple of drivers from the south.
Quickly, the top dozen cars or so go single file. That top groove where you want to be. Anderson Bowen nearly grabbed the wall down the backstretch. 7 laps in, everybody sorting themselves out, trying to pick up a position, and problem-free so far in the early runnings of the 400.
Issues now for the 49 of Piqua, Ohio driver Colin Nicolai. Burrell.com, Nicolai racing car, former regular with the series. He hits pit road. Colin Nicolai off the pace, into the pits he goes.
Augie Grill looking underneath Van Dorn for the runner-up spot. The 2 cars side by side down the backstretch and in turn 3 and give it to Augie Grill in the 112.
The Grand American Race Cars entry. They build their own chassis, he and his dad, and I'm telling you what, this 112 car really rotating the bottom lane well, and if his car can rotate the bottom, he will be tough to beat. The place to be is in that outside lane, but the place to pass is in the bottom because everybody parks their cars out along the wall. The 112 of Augie Grill in the second spot. Started this race in fifth. Starts to challenge the leader, Chase Elliott, off of 2.
Really big pressure for your top 2 cars. Augie Grill looks to the inside of Chase Elliott. New race leader off turn 4. Give it to Augie Grill.
Grill at the line, leads lap number 12. Second leader of the race now. First lead change coming on lap number 12. Elliott back to second. Van Dorn right with him in third. Fourth is Eric Jones. Back several car lengths to Derek Griffin.
Your leaders already approaching lap traffic.
They can race with the leader trying to stay on the tail end of the lead lap.
Tweedy had some problems late in practice right before qualifying yesterday. He's in a backup car in car number 2, and the 21 of Beaver off the pace over in turn number 3.
Beaver rolling around the low side of the raceway slow. Is he going to make it down the pit road? Not this time. Going to continue to run slowly on the bottom lane. Johnny Van Dorn, meanwhile, to the inside of Augie Grill, takes the lead on the backstretch. Coopersville, Michigan driver Johnny Van Dorn with $100,000 bonus money from Jags on the line today takes the lead. For lap number 34, he's out front. Stephen Nasse, Pinellas Park, Florida driver off the pace. Nasse off the pace in the bottom of 1 and 2.
Race control discussing the situation.
And there it is, yellow flag out. Caution out for debris on the back straightaway. So debris coming off on the backstretch. Preston Peltier was involved in the battle with Eddie Van Meter, the 261 and the 23 on the back straightaway, bringing out the caution. Debris coming off of one of those cars, kicked it up in the air, moved toward the inside of the racetrack, but unbelievably, Jason, first caution with 87 laps in.
87 laps in, your race leader, Johnny Van Dorn. Second place, the 112 of Augie Grill. Third place, the 51 of Eric Jones. Moving back, then the 25 of Derek Griffin has got around the 9 of Chase Elliott. That completing your top 5.
Hearn not a lead lap car, so wouldn't be pitting this lap anyway. So pit stops ready to begin as Chase Elliott, the pole sitter of the race, heads pit side. And here comes a handful of others.
Van Dorn stays on the racetrack. Very, very interesting. We'll see how that works itself into this situation. But a lot of your top 5, top 10 cars hit the pits for the first time for fuel and tires.
Chase Elliott, right side tire change. Crew working on the right side of Elliott on that right front, making a tire change. Adding Sunoco fuel, right side tire change to the Jags 26 of Bubba Pollard. It's like Travis Braden, series champion, doing it as well on the right side. Augie Grill, who was running second in the race. Crew looking at that car extra close as well. He's been in the wall once, into another car in Peltier once. Field to green, off of turn number 4.
Down the front stretch, Van Dorn able to clear Jones and pull away just a little bit. Austin Terrio working underneath Griffin. That battle for third down the backstretch.
How much of a difference will new tires versus old tires be? For Van Dorn, I'm not sure that it's going to matter much. He has been so stout early on. Might level off the playing field a little bit. See Chase Elliott involved with a 3-wide battle back there. Martin locked a lip in the middle. Benjamin was on the high side for a moment. Battle for third continues. Terrio on the inside. On the outside is Derek Griffin. Kenseth also gone to the bottom. Fisher is there. So is Hemrick. And following Hemrick is Scott Neal.
We talked about the tires maybe making a difference. That not the case. Your top 2 cars, single file breakaway, and then throw a blanket over certain patches from about 3rd through 15th.
We do have yellow now. Caution flag is on the raceway for a second time. Yellow flag out. Debris in turns 1 and 2. Caution for debris in 1 and 2. Second caution coming at lap 112.
Your race leader just approaching lap traffic. Took about a dozen laps for Johnny Van Dorn to run down the back of the field as he was trying to work around the 28 of Allie Kern, your 2013 Boyne Machine Company Rookie of the Year.
I believe we now have 16 drivers on the lead lap, unofficially 16 drivers on the lead lap. The last of those, Preston Peltier in the 261. Green flag coming off of turn 4. Scott Neal off the pace, missed a shift down in turn 3. He gets going now, and we are underway.
3 wide about mid-pack with Neal having the problem. Everybody able to sort itself out, but definitely a scary moment to be mid-pack. Jones with the nose in the air. He'll lead coming around to lap 124.
Moving up into the second spot, Dawsonville, Georgia driver Chase Elliott. Elliott into the second position. Augie Grill is third. Griffin's dropped to fourth. stacking up the field a little bit back behind him there. Braden on the inside in 5th. Van Dorn from 10th, restarting position. He's almost into the top 5 already. Van Dorn on his way to the front. Benjamin picked up a lot of spots early on in the race, had to start dead last after making a pit stop before the start of the event. He was scheduled to start this race 16th. He in turn started 37th. He's been able to stay on the lead lap. Going to put himself in position for a top 10, top 5, maybe even a win today. Off the pace, Nick Galata in the 131. Got into the wall, and Nick Galata, the 131 car, brings out caution number 3 with 132 laps in.
Eric Jones probably getting a little bit early Christmas present from Galata.
Just inside 20 cars on the lead lap. Green flag, 137, make it 138 at the line. Grill brings the field to green.
Van Dorn uses the high side, move him up to second. He gets around Elliott. Top 3 cars single file, everybody else double file behind him. Field very tight behind you as your top 2 cars now look to break away.
What an awesome crowd at Winchester Speedway today, seeing a good race. Trouble, Elliott goes around on the backstretch. Chase Elliott around, gets some dirt, hits the inside banking. Martin Latulip collected, as well as a couple of others. Our first mishap of this race coming at lap 151. A multi-car accident on the backstretch. Ross Kenseth, I believe, also involved. Damage to the front end of the Kenseth car.
A lot of damage done. Hard to see the backstretch from our vantage point. 151 laps in. Elliott to pit road. As you mentioned, damage and quite a bit of damage on the front end of Kenseth. He'll hit the pit area.
Kenseth's day is going to be over. That Blaine's Farm and Fleet, number 25, heavy damage. The winner of our 2012 Winchester 400. You see the crew saying, go on right by, just park her in the grass.
Augie Grill leads the way. Johnny Van Dorn right behind him, nose to tail, your top 2. Then Mingus Braden, your top 4. Single file, your top 4, and Therio looks the inside of the 67 machine. That for 5th spot.
Saw Jeff Holtz earlier flirting with going down a lap, never did. Now he's racing just out of the top 5. In the 6th position, Jeff Holtz, the North Carolina driver, now formerly from the Ohio, Indiana area, and up front.
171 laps in this time by for Augie Grill, Van Dorn, and Mason Mingus, your top 3. Travis Braden in car number 01 runs 4th. Then Therio, Fultz, and Kyle Benjamin. Eric Jones completing your top 10.
Maybe the biggest surprise in our top 5 right now is Austin Therio. You know, we've seen some good runs from him. Trouble up in the corner. Brett Robinson goes around to the 5 car, losing a wheel. The right rear coming off the Robinson machine. And Robinson's car in a crash. Turn number 2, caution flag out. 176 laps complete. Brett Robinson, the New Albany, Indiana driver, with a right rear flying off of that car, wheel going down into the infield. And that one could have been a lot worse as the oncoming traffic able to miss him.
A lot of cars surrounded him as got out of shape into the wall and facing the wrong direction in turn number 2 at Winchester. 177 laps in and the caution out again.
So Donnie Wilson shown in the 16th spot. I believe the first driver 1 lap down. We'll get official word in a moment if he gets the lucky dog or not. The crew, I'm sure, will still work to try to get a hood on that car to give him a chance. Right around 15 on the lead lap. 15 drivers on the lead lap in this race. 199 complete. Grill leading. Benjamin in second. 2-car breakaway over 3rd place competitor Mason Mingus. Jones running strong in 4th. Halfway this time by. 200 in, 200 to go.
Benjamin able to pull away from Mingus. Cross flags at the start-finish line, and Benjamin looking pretty racy again. Right behind the left front tire, but doesn't seem to be affecting the car that much. Able to hang on tough with the 112 of Grill, your race leader.
Austin Therio off the pace in the 29 car, riding around the top lane. Austin Therio going to bring out a caution, 29. Fort Kent Maine driver Austin Therio. Caution is out as he slowed up in 3 and 4. He had just been passed by Braden moments ago. And Therio slowing brings out the caution. I think he's going to head to the pits, most likely a tire going down for the Fort Kent Maine driver. 211 complete, leading the way, the 112 of Augie Grill.